everyone. So May is over and I'm here to tell you all the books that I read in May. So I read 11 books in May. That's a lot. I was not expecting to read that much, but here we are. I read them. And if I'm honest with you, there are a few that I really loved. And the majority of them I just kind of liked. So I think it was a good reading month because, you know, I've read so many. The quality of reading, I don't know if it was up there. So that's something I think I need to switch up now. I think I'm worried too much again about the numbers, not the quality of books that I'm reading. But either way, always I'm going to start with my least favorite book, working up to my favorite. And I'm trying to keep this brief because there is 11 books and I have reviewed the majority of these, either if they've had a mashup review or a singular review. So I will link all my reviews of books that I talked about in this video down below, as well as cards up here. So be sure to check those out. The first book I want to talk about is The Last Miss Parrish by Liv Constantine. I gave this book 2.75, 3 out of 5. This is an adult mystery thriller. I was not impressed by it, honestly, if you can tell by the rating, but I just found this book to be not that thrilling. I found the plot twist very easy to connect the dots with. Overall, this is about a woman named, I forget her name, Amber. It's about a woman named Amber who becomes obsessed with having it all, and so she goes out to have Miss Parrish's life. She tries to manipulate her and be her friend and also try to steal her husband. It's a trope I've seen a lot before in thrillers, and I just don't know if this is written as well as other thrillers. Like I've said a lot lately, that there has not been a lot of thrillers lately that I've been reading that have really that I've liked. So this is another one that I just feel so about. I don't know. So a lot of people do love this book, so I may be the unpopular opinion here, but I just didn't love it. I don't know. Speaking of unpopular opinions, the next book I want to talk about is Always Never Yours by Emily Wibberley and Austin C. Mabroka. I read this one on a whim because I've been hearing a lot about it and a lot of people have been saying how adorable and how cute it is, and I love books like that. And I found it to be adorable and cute, but I just didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. Now you guys know I love YA contemporary. It's one of my favorite genres. I like deep contemporaries and I also like cute and fluffy ones. So I thought I would really enjoy this one. And I gave it like a 3.25. I found it overall enjoyable, yes, but I didn't love it as much as I wanted to. It's about a girl named Megan who is the girl before. So every time she dates a guy, they break up and then the guy will find like their forever girlfriend and be with them for a long time. So Megan just is kind of flirts around and, you know, doesn't really look for a long-term relationship because she knows that the next time she gets a relationship, the guy's just gonna go off and find a girl that he's gonna be with probably forever. So Megan is also like really into high school, like the drama program, and she loves directing, but this time she's actually the star of Romeo and Juliet. She's dealing with that. She also befriends a guy and things happen from there. Overall, like I said, it's very cute and fluffy, but nothing like super amazing. I did find growth within the character, which I did appreciate. I'd say if you're a big fan of like high school, you know, theater and things like that, I would highly recommend this book. But is it one of my favorite YA contemporaries I've ever read? Not so. Another YA contemporary that was so, gosh, I feel so like butchering all of these books today. I am so sorry if it's coming across like that. I enjoyed all of these, but I didn't enjoy them as much as I wanted to. What I want to talk about is Love and Luck by Jenna Evans Welch. If you've heard of her, she also wrote Love and Gelato. Both of these books I really enjoyed. I find them just like cute, adorable reads. They're not going to be YA contemporary books that stick with you forever like some are. I'd say these are kind of like perfect summer, spring reads, honestly. This book follows a character that was in her first book, Love and Gelato. So in this book we follow Addie, who is visiting Ireland, and she's going to her aunt's wedding, and she ends up on a road trip with her brother that they've been kind of having a falling out. So it's all more about family in this book, which I actually really appreciated. But overall, like I said, there wasn't a ton of depth. There wasn't a lot to grasp onto in this book. I did find it really adorable. I love sightseeing in Ireland. I thought that was great. But, I mean, if you're just looking for a quick summer, spring read, this is definitely the perfect book for you, in my opinion. And I gave this like 3.25. I don't know. We're going to get real technical today. I can already tell. So I did enjoy it, and I would recommend it if you're looking for a light, fluffy read. The next book I want to talk about is Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli. This, again, like the one I talked about previously, kind of follows another character that was in a first book. So this one follows Leah, who was in Simon vs. Homo Sapiens Agenda, and I enjoyed this one. Again, as the trend in this video, I did not enjoy it as much as I wanted to. Leah was a character I thought didn't get enough love in Simon, so I was very, very excited to see that she had her own book. But unfortunately, I didn't love this one. I found like Leah was very brash and snarky and kind of abrasive. All of things I enjoy about reading in characters, if that about Leah, but I didn't find that there was much growth with Leah. Leah would say a lot of awful things to her mother and to her friends, and I thought that, you know, they could expand more on that relationship and it would grow more and Leah would kind of learn and, you know, flourish more, but I don't feel like that happened in this book. I also wasn't 100% on board with the romance. Like, we kind of threw another character under the bus in order to achieve this romance, which the romance is adorable and sweet and I'm all for it, but just not in the way that it happened and how it happened so very quickly. So don't make me, I feel like I'm so bashing. I did enjoy this book. I love Becky Albertalli's writing style, how it's very simple and you really fall in love with all of these characters and it's so great revisiting them again. But I think the bottom line with this book is that I wanted more growth from Leah by the end of it, which I don't think we achieved. So yeah, a lot of people probably disagree with me and I understand, but I did enjoy this book. Don't hear me say that you shouldn't read it because I definitely think you should. It's an adorable one, but like I said, just want a little bit more growth. Give this one a solid 3.5 out of 5. I did enjoy it. This one is The Storied Life of AJ Fikry. Fikry, yes, I always pronounce that so wrong, by Gabrielle Zevin. This is an adult literary fiction novel about a bookstore owner and how he kind of is not so happy with his life and then things happen and a lot of things flourish from there. It's a really heartwarming story. If you're looking for something that would just make you smile and make you just be happy for people in another book, I really recommend this one. I found it to be really, really sweet and adorable, and I love Gabrielle Zevin. She also wrote Young Jane Young, which I loved. So I give this one a 3.75, maybe closer to 4. I don't think I liked it as much as Young Jane Young, but still overall, like I said, a heartwarming and beautiful story at that. The next book is A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 3.5 book, that's what I'm calling it, in the Court of Thorns and Roses series. This is a novella. It's very, very short, 200 pages. Do I think it's necessary? Not sure. I do have a own video. I do have a single video review up for this one, so I'll link it right here. I did enjoy it. I love the characters. I love Farrah and Ryzan, but this book, there wasn't much that was happening. It's all about the winter solstice and you catching up with the characters, and also kind of paves the way for the next part of the series that's coming out soon. So I don't know if it was necessary, but I enjoyed it. I don't know. I'm still very mixed about it, so I gave it like a 3.75, 4 out of 5. I don't know. It's just kind of a so-so book. It's a filler book. If you want my 100% unbiased opinion, it is totally a filler book, and I think it was probably a money grab too, but I mean, it grabbed my money. I have 9 Days and 9 Nights by Katie Cadugna. This is the second book in the 99 Days series. She wrote the first book a while ago actually, and the sequel finally came out. I really enjoyed the sequel. I think I enjoyed the sequel more than the first book. With Katie Cadugna books, I always say I'm split. Like, I really enjoy her older stuff more than her newer stuff, but I really enjoyed this one. So I can't really tell you much about this one because it is a direct sequel to the first one, but 99 Days is all about this girl named Molly Barlow, and she's coming back in town after being away for a while because there was a huge controversy that happened while she was in town. She was in love with a guy, and she also got kind of involved with his brother, so there was a big scandal that happened with that because her mom is an author and her mom like actually publicized her daughter's story, so the whole town hates her. So she comes back and you can guess what happens from there. This one is a sequel to that. Can't tell you much more about it, but I did enjoy it. I enjoyed that the story is finally wrapped up and closed. There's no open ends to it. I found the romance to be great. I loved how everything was handled, and I loved the way characters actually talked about how they felt more than just like beating around the bush about it. So I really recommend reading 99 Days first. You don't have to read it, but I think in order to get a better sense of the characters and the backstory, I think it's a definite must. So I really enjoyed this one a lot. Surprisingly, honestly. I gave it like a 4 out of 5. I have another book that I just read on a whim, and that is Little Do We Know by Tamara Ireland Stone. I read this book because it was coming out next month and I had some free time, so I said, why not read it? And I really enjoyed it. I have read another one of her books before called Every Last Word, which I enjoyed, but not as much as this one. This is what I classify, I don't know why I classify different categories. Like you have your cute and fluffy ones, you have your really deep kind of of intense ones that talk about serious topics. And we have ones that I like to call, personally, this is probably just me, the quiet type of contemporaries, where the plot is not really like intense and all there or like over dramatically cute and fluffy. It's just kind of a quiet plot, and it's more about a progression of characters and learning more about them. And this book is just that. So this book, we follow two main characters. We follow Emery and Hannah, and Emery and Hannah are next door neighbors, and they're the bestest of friends. It's like 36 steps towards each other's houses, and something has happened to the relationship, and now they haven't talked in 3 months. And basically, you're kind of just figuring out what has happened to him, but what is happening to Hannah and Emery, and also learning about their lives. Emery is going off to college soon, and she has a boyfriend that she's really in love with, that she's really struggling with, you know, leaving and kind of breaking up with him. And she's also really struggling with her mom getting remarried. And we have Hannah, who is a pastor's daughter, and she's really struggling with her faith in this book a lot, which I enjoyed reading about. So this book is a quiet book because we just learn more about Hannah and Emery and their friendship. I love this one. I would say I would highly recommend it. Just don't expect to be floored by it. Like, it's not gonna leave you. It's not a high intense contemporary, but it's not a cute and fluffy one either. It's just more the exploration of characters, and I just loved it. And I love the writing. It did not read like a young adult book to me at all. So I would give this one like a 4.5 out of 5. I just really, really loved it. Was not expecting to like it as much as I did. So definitely be on the lookout for this on June. I think it's like June 5th. Don't quote me on that, but early June for sure. Speaking of surprise books, I read a couple of other books that I wasn't expecting to read this month. This was the month of unexpected reads, and I fell in love with both of them, and that is Beartown and Us Against You by Frederick Bachman. As you can see, I'm still reading Us Against You, but I'm confident in putting it in this pile right now. So Beartown is the first book in this series. In this book, we follow a town called Beartown, and it's an ice hockey town. They live and breathe and do everything by ice hockey. Basically, a scandal reaches the surface because there is a rape in this book, so that's a big trigger warning for you if you are very sensitive to the topic, or, you know, just so you're aware that there is rape in this book. And they talk about the ramifications of that. One town sides with one person and one town sides with the other, and really talks about being somebody and not believing them and all those other things. This book is more than just the ice hockey and, like I said, the rape. It's really an exploration of all of these characters that live in this town. We follow a myriad of characters, and it's kind of told from third-person perspective, and you just really fall in love with so many of these characters. And a lot of them are teenagers, a lot of them are adults, you know, some of them are coaches, some of them are teachers. There's just so many elements to this book that are amazing. Frederick Bachman has also written A Man Called Uwe, which I love, and he's got a quirky sense of writing, which just I adore. But this one's definitely his most like deepest one, and it talks about a lot of hard topics like I keep talking about. But I fell in love with this town and with these people, and so I would highly recommend it. I thought it was great. I think a lot of people, when they read the back of it, they're gonna stink because the first line says, "This is how this person ended up dead," or something like that. It's not a thriller at all. It's more of a hard-hitting, like, literary fiction book about this town and about the people that are in it. So love this one. 4.5 out of 5. Like I said, the second book is Us Against You, which just got released, and I'm still reading it. I'm about halfway through, and I'm putting it right there with this one because I'm enjoying it just as much. This one obviously takes place after the events of Beartown, so I can't go much into about it, but we learn more about the characters and about the people, and I'm telling you, especially the teenagers in this book, you have so much heart for, and you see them wear their hearts on their sleeves, and you just fall in love with them, and you fall in love with the grittiness of this town and the people that are in it. I highly recommend this series. I will be doing a full series review because it's just these two books when I'm finished reading this one, so be on the lookout for that, and I'll talk more about spoilers and more in depth about things like that. So highly, highly would recommend. And the last book that I want to talk about was my favorite of the month. I think Beartown and Us Against You and this one are all my favorites of the month. And that one is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. This is an adult romance novel, and I swooned hard with this one. This is all of the swoon-worthy feelings. This is about a girl named Macy who, it's told in like alternating timelines where she is young and she meets a guy named Elliot when they're like 8 or 9, and they grow up together, they fall in love, and then it flash forwards to her now where she's like 26, 27, and her and Elliot have like kind of fallen off, and they don't talk to each other at all, and you're trying to figure out why this happened, and then she runs into Elliot again, and it sparks things up, and it is so freaking romantic. I can't stand it. If you love romance and if you love, you know, swoon-worthy things, you will love this book. I can guarantee you that. So I highly recommend this one. Gave it a 4.5, maybe close to 5. I liked it that much. It's all about the, you know, best friends become lovers and they fall apart and then reuniting, first loves. All of those tropes I am here for, so I highly recommend. Christina Lauren, by the way, I don't mention this enough, is 2 authors. So there are 2 authors, they combine their first names, hence meaning Christina Lauren. So just so you know, there's 2 authors to this book, they just collaborate. So I need to say that more. So there you have it. Those are all the books that I read in May. Like I said, a good amount of reading done in May, but I think the majority of the books I liked, I just didn't love. There were a few in this stack that I adored, so I'd highly recommend those. If you have read any of these books, please let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one.